Hello, dear students. A warm welcome. Hope you all are doing fine. In this video, you will get the question paper of MSc Applied Microbiology Entrance Exam conducted by Banaras Hindu University, BHU University in the year 2017. So watch this video till end. This video is useful for the students who are preparing for the entrance exam for admission to the courses like applied microbiology, biotechnology, biochemistry, bioinformatics, life sciences, botany, and zoology. Those who are preparing for the NET exam, CSIR-NET exam, and for the GATE exam, again, this video is very useful. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of all the new upcoming videos. This question paper consists of total of the 120 questions, and in this video, this part, I am discussing the first 60 questions. So now let's get started. Before I start, I suggest you to take a pen and paper with you as I am reading the question and then I read the options. So you can write on your paper which one the option you feel is correct. And I will also tell you the correct option. So see if your option matches with that of mine or not. So question number 1 says, the specific immunity can be acquired either naturally or artificially and involves the option 1 antibodies, the 2 antigen, 3 classical complement pathway, and 4 all of these. The correct one is the option antibodies. The antibodies, they are responsible for the specific immune response, while the antigens, these are the molecules which elicit the formation of the immune response, and classical complement pathway is the non-specific immune response. Question number 2, which does not provide long-term immunity? The question is asking does not provide long-term. So that means which one is the short-term? The option 1, artificially acquired active immunity. Option 2, artificially acquired passive immunity. Option 3, naturally acquired active immunity. The option 4 is none of these. So out of these, the correct one is the artificially acquired passive immunity. It is given in the form of the vaccines, which are actually the pooled Ig molecules. So they give only the immunity for the short period, but not for the long period. Question number 3 is again from immunology. So that means immunology is the favorite topic of the paper setters. The question number 3 says, which one of the following is the major immunoglobulin in human serum, accounting for 80% of the immunoglobulin pool? The option 1, IgA, IgD, IgG, and the IgM. So out of this, the correct one is the option 3, which is the IgG. The IgG accounts for 700 to 1600 milligram per deciliter of the serum. So it is most abundant. The question number 4 is related to the question number 3. It says, which immunoglobulin is the least prevalent? Remember, least prevalent. The option 1, IgA, IgD, IgE, and the IgM. The correct one is again the option 3, but here it is IgE. IgE concentration is around 10,000 times lower than that of the IgG. Question number 5. Which one of the following is useful to stimulate antibody production? 1, an adjuvant, 2, hapten, 3, antiserum, 4, purified antigen. So here it is saying stimulate. So the option 2, hapten, is the correct one. Question number 6. Which one of the following is a free-living nitrogen-fixing organism? 1, rhizobium, 2, azotobacter, 3, E. coli, 4, Bacillus. So the correct one can be either 1 or 2 because these are nitrogen fixers, but 3, 4 E. coli bacillus, these are not nitrogen fixers, but out of these, the rhizobium is found in symbiotic association, while azotobacter is found in the free living. So this one is the correct option. Question number 7. The major advantage of plant with WAM is WAM stands for vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. It is a symbiotic association between the fungi and angiosperm. The options are 1. Increased nitrogen absorption, 2. Increased phosphorus absorption, 3. Increased potassium absorption, 4. Increased manganese absorption. The correct one is the number 2. Increased phosphorus absorption. Question number 8. Which one of the following is nitrogen fixing actinomycetes? 1. Acetobacter, 2. Azotobacter, 3. Frankia, 4. Azospirillum. So first one is bacteria, the second one is also bacteria, and the fourth one is again, it is the type of the Azospirillum, which is the again type of bacteria. So the option 3, which is the Frankia actinomycetes, it is nitrogen fixer, it is the correct option. Question number 9. Example of beneficial microbes plant soil interaction is 1. Organic matter decomposition, 2. Symbiotic nitrogen fixation, 3. Mycorrhizal fungi, 4. All are true. So here all the options are true. So fourth one is the correct option. Question number 10 says, first disease of plants to be recognized as 1. Tobacco mosaic virus, 2. The option is not clear here. 3 is sugarcane mosaic virus. 4th is bean mosaic virus. The option 1, we know that TMV virus. This is the correct option. The question number 11 says, anaerobic bacteria like Clostridium may reduce nitrate to dash directly. Options are nitrite, ammonia, nitrogen, hydroxyl amine. The option 1, nitrite, is the correct one. Question number 12. Sterile container is free from all pathogens. 2. Free from all microorganisms. 3. Free from all bacteria. 4. All of the above. The sterile containers, these are used for the collection of the specimen and these should be free from all the living forms. So here the question number 4, all of the above is the correct one. Question number 13. Who gave 8 kingdom system of classification? The option 1 is H. Hellriegel, 2. Cavalier Smith, 3. Carl Voss, 4. Sergei Vinogradski. The correct one is the option 2, Cavalier Smith. The question number 14. The structure of cell is formed by 1. Nucleus, 2. Microfibrillae, 3. Microtubules, 4. Cell membrane. The option 3, microtubules, they are the correct. These are considered as the cytoskeleton of the cell. Question number 15. Holding period for hot jet oven is 1. 140 for 1 hour, 2. 160 for 1 hour, 3. 140 for half hour, 4. 180 for 1 hour. The correct one is the 2. It is 160 for 1 hour. It should be at least 160 for 1 hour. Question number 16. Agarose gel method was first done by 1. Border, 2. Audin, 3. Neufeld, 4. Lord Lister. Here the first option, Border, is the correct one. Question number 17. Z-leucine stain is 1. Metachromatic stain, 2. Nuclear stain, 3. Release stain, 4. Acid fast stain. This is the acid fast stain used for the differential staining of the species which have the bacteria which have the mycolic acid in their cell wall. Hence, they are resistant to the destaining by the acid alcohol solution. The question number 18. First virus to be studied was 1. Pox virus, 2. Rabies virus, 3. Hepatitis virus, 4. Tobacco mosaic virus. Tobacco mosaic virus, the TMV virus, is the correct one. Question number 19. It was first showed that the mosaic disease of tobacco is due to the virus by 1. Van Leeuwenhoek, 2. Edward Jenner, 3. Ivanovsky, 4. Laughlin. So the Ivanovsky is the correct one. You have seen there have been a lot of questions on this tobacco mosaic virus. So this is important topic for the exam. The question 20. The fungal nucleus contains two chromosomes 2, has a nuclear membrane, option 3, differs from the bacterial nucleus, option 4, all of these. So here the option 4, all of these is correct. The fungal nucleus is the example of the eukaryotic nucleus. So it contains the two chromosomes. It also has a nuclear membrane and it obviously differs from the bacterial nucleus, which is example of the nucleoid of prokaryotic nucleus. The question number 21. The most commonly used microorganism in alcohol fermentation is 1. Aspergillus niger, 2. Bacillus subtilis, 3. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, 4 is Escherichia coli. The option 3, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, is the correct one. It is also called brewer's yeast. Question number 22. Large vessel containing all the parts and condition necessary for the growth of desired microorganism is called 1. Bioreactor, 2. Autoreactor, 3. Impeller, 4. None of these. The option 1, bioreactor, is the correct one. The question number 23. The basic principle in industrial microbiology is 1. Suitable growth conditions, 2. Fermentation, 3. Providing aseptic conditions, 4. All of these. So here the fourth one, all of these is the correct option. Question number 34. Which of the following organic groups are found in naturally occurring amino acids? 1. Guanidinium, 2. Indole, 3. Imidazole, and 4 is all of these. The correct one is the 4, all of these. Question number 25. The pH of a solution is determined by 1. Bacteria, 2. Yeast, 3. Fungi, 4. None of these. Here the option is the none of these. The pH of a solution is determined by the apparatus known as the pH meter using the electrodes. Question number 26. Molecules in which the atoms are held together by dash bonds have the strongest chemical linkages. 1. Non-covalent, 2. Covalent, 3. Ionic, and 4th is the hydrogen. So out of this, the option number 2, covalent. Covalent are the strongest, followed by ionic, then hydrogen, and then the van der Waals forces in the linkages. The question number 27. Buffer solutions will always have a pH of 7. Option 2, are rarely found in living systems. Option 3, cause a decrease in pH when acids are added to them. Option 4, tend to maintain a relatively constant pH. So option 4, tend to maintain a relatively constant pH is the correct. They try to resist the change in the pH. Question number 28. Most of the important functional groups in biological molecules contain option 1, oxygen and or nitrogen and an acidic. Option 2, oxygen and a phosphate. Option 3, nitrogen and a phosphate. Then the option 4, oxygen and or nitrogen and are polar. So here the correct one is the option 4, oxygen and or nitrogen and are polar. Question number 29. Which of the following forces is the most favorable for protein folding? Number 1, conformational entry. Number 2, hydrophobic interaction. Number 3, van der Waals interactions. Number 4 are the hydrogen bonds. So the correct one here are the 4, the hydrogen bonds responsible for the folding of the proteins, hence for the secondary, tertiary, and the quaternary structures of the proteins. Question number 30. Fructose is metabolized by option 1, fructose 1 phosphate pathway. Option 2, fructose 6 phosphate pathway. Option 3, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate pathway. Option 4, both 1 and 2. The option 4th, both 1 and 2 is the correct one. Question number 31. Humans are unable to digest. The option 1 is starch. Option 2, complex carbohydrates. Option 3, denatured proteins. The option 4 is cellulose. So obviously, this was the correct answer, the cellulose. Question 32. The key enzyme in the regulation of fatty acid synthesis is option 1, acetyl carboxyl A acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. The option 2, AMP activated protein kinase. Option 3, protein phosphatase. Option 4 is none of these. Here the correct one is the option 1, which is the acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. The question 3. Beta pleated sheets are examples of proteins. Number 1, primary structure. Number 2, secondary structure. Number 3, tertiary structure. Number 4 is the quaternary structure. So here the beta pleated sheets, they are seen in the case of the secondary structure of the proteins. Question number 34. Phospholipid contains 1, hydrophilic heads and hydrophobic tails. Number 2, long water-soluble carbon chains. Number 3, positively charged functional groups. Number 4, both 2 and 3. So here the correct one is the option 1. They have got the hydrophilic heads and they have got the hydrophobic tails. The question number 35. Cellulose fibers resemble with the protein structure in the form of. So there is similarity between cellulose fibers and protein structure with the similarity. The option 1 says beta sheets, option 2 alpha helix, option 3 beta turns, option 4 is none of these. The option which is correct one is the first option, which is the beta sheets. Question number 36. The rate of kill for many bacteria is a 1, zero order reaction, 2, first order reaction, 3, second order reaction, and the fourth option is the third order reaction. And the correct option is the option number 2, the first order reaction. It follows the law which is called the Chick's law, which is usually studied for the disinfection using the disinfectant like the phenols or the alcohols. Question number 37. Metalloproteins cytochrome oxidase is paired with dash atom. You have to tell which metal is present. The one is the iron, 2 is magnesium, 3 copper, and the fourth one is the cobalt. So here the correct one is the copper. Question number 38. Dissociation of the water can be expressed as. So here the different options are shown, and here the K, the dissociation constant is shown. So out of these 4 equations which are depicting here, the concentration of the hydrogen and the hydroxyl and the water is the first one, which is the correct. The K is equal to the concentration of the hydrogen multiplied with the concentration of the hydroxyl ion divided with the concentration of the water. Question number 39. Isoelectric point is denoted by, there are different denotions like the Pi, pH, PO and the PE. We know that the first option Pi is the correct one. Question number 40. A molecular technique in which DNA sequences between 2 oligonucleotide primer can be amplified is known as. So the question is a simple, but it is still twisted. So the options are first Southern blotting, 2 Southern blotting, 3 PCR, 4 DNA replication. The correct one is the 3 PCR, stands for the polymerase chain reaction. Question number 41. Allosteric enzymes are 1, larger than the simple enzymes, 2, smaller than the simple enzymes, 3, larger and more complex than the simple enzymes, 4, smaller than the simple enzymes, but these are not complex. Allosteric enzymes are the enzymes in which there is an additional binding site for the effector molecules other than the active site. On the active site, the substrate molecules bind, while there are the additional binding site where the effector molecules bind. So in the case of the allosteric enzymes, they are larger and they are more complex. So the option 3 is the correct one. Question number 42 says, why does the glycolytic pathway continue in the direction of glucose catabolism? The option 1. There are essentially irreversible reactions that act as the driving force for the pathway. Option 2. High level of ATP keep the pathway going in a forward direction. Option 3. The enzymes of glycolysis only function in one direction. 4. Glycolysis occurs in the either direction. So here the correct one is the first option, that there are essentially irreversible reaction that acts as a driving force for the pathway. Question number 43. The release energy obtained by oxidation of glucose is stored as 1. Concentration gradient across the membrane driving force for the pathway, 2 ATP, 3 ATP, 4 NAD positive. The option 2 ATP is the correct one. Question number 44. The yield of the antibiotics depend upon 1. pH of the medium, 2. age of the inoculum, 3. composition of the medium, 4. all of these. The correct option is the option 4, all of these. Question 45. The phospholipids present in cytoplasm membrane of the archaebacteria is 1. phosphoglycerides, 2. polyisoprenoid, 3. polyisoprenoid branched chain lipids, 4. none of the above. The option 3, polyisoprenoid branched chain lipids, is the correct one. Question number 46. Mycoplasma are different from the other prokaryotes by 1. presence of chitin in the cell wall, 2. presence of murin in the cell wall, 3. presence of protein in cell wall, 4. absence of cell wall itself. They lack the cell wall, so the option 4 is the correct. They don't have a cell wall, but they have some sterols in their plasma membrane. So this is an additional information that no bacteria they have sterols, but the mycoplasma are the bacteria which have sterols in their plasma membrane. Question number 47. Cell theory includes all of the following except 1. All organisms are composed of one or more cells. Question number 2. The cell is the most primitive form of life. Question number 3. The cell is the structural unit of life. Question number 4. Cell arises by the division of the pre-existing cells. So here all the options they are correct, we can say, but now we know that there are some organisms which don't have these cells. The viruses, these are the exceptions. So the viruses, they are exception to the cell theory. These are not the cells, but still these are considered as the organisms. So first option is the correct one. Question number 48. Which one of the following structure is the smallest? 1. viroid, 2. hydrogen atom, 3. bacterium, 4. mitochondrion. The option 1, the viroids. These are the correct one. Question number 49. Which of the following may account for the small size of the cells? 1. rate of diffusion, 2. surface area oblique volume ratio, number 3. number of messenger RNA that can be produced by the nucleus, 4. all of the above. So option 4, all of the above, is the correct one. Question number 50. A plasmid can be considered as a suitable cloning factor if 1. It can be readily isolated from the cells. Number 2. It possesses a single restriction site for one or more restriction enzymes. Option 3. Insertion of foreign DNA does alter its replication property. Option 4. All of the above. So all of these characters should be present in the plasmid. So the option 4 is the correct option. Question 51. Which of the following vector can maintain the largest fragment of foreign DNA? 1. yak, 2. cosmids, 3. plasmid, 4. phage. Option 1, yak, stands for the East Artificial Chromosome, is the correct one. Question number 52. In aerobic respiration, the terminal electron acceptor is number one, oxygen, number two is the hydrogen, number three is nitrogen, and number four is nitrate. Obviously, the option one, oxygen, is the correct option. Question number 53. Which one of the following does not produce oxygen as a product of photosynthesis? Number one, oak trees. Number two, purple sulfur bacteria. Number three, cyanobacteria. Number four is phytoplankton. The option two, purple sulfur bacteria, this is the correct one. Question number 54. What are the main constituents of culture for animal cell growth? That means the constituents they're asking not for culture, but it should be actually the cultured medium. The number one, glucose and glutamine. Number two, growth factors. Number three, cytokines. Number four is all of these. The number four, all of these is the correct one. Question number 55. Which of the following ranks the molecules in the correct order by size? Ranks. So that means from highest to lowest. Number one, water, sucrose, glucose, protein. Number two, protein, water, glucose, sucrose. Number three, water, protein, sucrose, glucose. Number four, protein, sucrose, glucose, water. So here the fourth one is the correct. Water is the largest protein is the largest while water is the smallest by the weight. Question number 56. Linkage present in cellulose molecule is beta 1 to 4, the option 2 alpha 1 to 4, 3 alpha 1 to 6, 4 both 2 and 3. The correct option here is the option 1 beta 1 to 4 linkage. The question number 57. The following substances are cell inclusions except 1 myelin, 2 glycogen, 3 lipids, and 4 are the centrosome. So here the correct option is the option 4 centrosomes. Inclusion bodies, they have the access nutrients in the form of the food reserves which can be utilized when required or under the unfavorable conditions. The question 57. The following substances, the question 58. Which of the following has isoenzyme? The option 1 is lactic dehydrogenase. The option 2 is hexokinase. The option 3 is citrate synthetase. The option 4 is aldolase. The correct one is the hexokinase. The isoenzyme of the hexokinase is the glucokinase. Question number 59. Synthesis of messenger RNA on DNA template is 1 unidirectional, B bidirectional, 3 bidirectional with the help of primer, 4 unidirectional with the help of primer. So here the option which is correct is the option 1. Question number 60. How many energy bonds are expected in the formation of a peptide bond? The option 1, 2, option 2, 4, option 3, 6, option 4 is 3. The correct one is the 3. 3 energy bonds they are expected, they have to be used. Here the one is the ATP and 2 GTP molecules, these are used. So these were the first 60 questions which will be help you in the preparation of the entrance exam. Stay tuned, watch for the second part of this video in which the next 60 questions will be discussed. So bye and take care. Best wishes for your exam.